Welcome to my Lasso podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my Lasso podcast. It is a Tuesday episode. Boy, is it a beautiful day for a Tuesday episode. My goodness. We have an interesting thread as well as some wonderful scenarios sent in by you lovely peoples. And without further ado, let's get right on into the scenario for today. Today's thread is, ladies, what's the hottest physical job a man can have? All right. So let's see what physical jobs you women's just find to be absolutely yum. All right. So let's see what's up. All right. As a bicycle mechanic, I can tell you it's not a bicycle mechanic. I did not know there was such thing as bicycle mechanics. I did not know that. Obviously, that was a guy that wrote that one. So ladies, let me know in the comments. Is a bicycle mechanic sexy? I wouldn't think so, but I mean, you never know. There could be that one girl out there that's just like, yum, he knows how to fix bicycles. You know, hey, you never know, bro. You never know. All right, let's see. Ladies, what's the hottest physical job a man can have? Doctor, fireman, paramedic, any type of rescuing job. They're all hot until your husband can't take time off of work or you worry about them dying on the job. Woo! I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that's facts. Yeah, except for the doctor when obviously, he's saving lives. He's not, in risk of dying, but no, I feel that there's a lot. I remember when I used to work retail, right? And the firemen would come in and they would go grocery shopping and stuff like that. The girls were just drooling. And I ain't gonna lie to you, they were good looking dudes. I was like, psst. Yeah, I mean, hey, game recognizes game. I was like, psst. It's cool, man. I tip my hat off to you because I'm telling you, there was some of the girls, they was thirsty. They were thirsty, talking about like, oh, so like I get off at this time and like, so where are you gonna go after this? So what station are you at? I was like, yo, I had never seen women so thirsty. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've never seen it a day in my life until those dudes walked in and I was like, whoa, hold up. Girl, relax. You don't know this man like that. She's like, yeah, I'm going to get to know him. Like, damn. Hey, I feel it. Ladies, what is the hottest physical job a man can have? A blacksmith. Really? Huh. I mean, that's definitely a job you don't see people or like guys have very often anymore. I mean, I guess the modern day blacksmiths, you would call them welders, I guess. That's what I would think. I would think modern day blacksmiths would be welders, but maybe she's talking about like actual blacksmiths, like the niggas making swords and armor and shit. You know what I mean? You never know. I would always think that it would be welders. They're like the new age, blacksmiths. But I guess so. Okay. Ladies, what is the hottest physical job a man can have? Let's see. All right. My boyfriend makes gravestones for a living, which as an edgy little goth, I find very appealing. I'm sure you would as an edgy little goth girl, I'm sure him just working at a mortuary, you'd be like, oh my God, you work with dead bodies? And he's like, yeah, I work with dead bodies all the time. It's fantastic. I find them just to be a very monotone ass couple. They could not be, I don't know, but that's just what it seems like. I don't think a dude who makes gravestones for a living would have much of a personality, but you never know. I didn't even know that was a job, if I'm being honest with you. And now I think about it, I'm like, well, duh, it's a job because who would make them, It makes sense. Like, But I don't know. Hey. All right, ladies, what is the hottest physical job a man can have? My last girlfriend broke up with me just because I'm an anesthesiologist. She said she didn't feel anything. This dude. Okay. All right, man. All right. Whatever. Oh my god. Let's see. All right. Ladies, what is the hottest physical job a man can have? My boyfriend is a steel worker, and I brag about him constantly. My boyfriend is forklift certified. I mean, hey, I'm forklift certified. You know, you wouldn't think it, but I actually am. Why? Because I had to work in a warehouse, you know what I mean, before I got my job that I have now. You know what I mean? Yeah, I worked in a warehouse, so I had to obviously know how to use all the equipment. Well, okay, hold on. Well, I'm not like the traditional forklift certified, like the 4-wheel forklift. No. I'm more certified on the forklift that is like, it has like 3 wheels and it, you know what I mean? It's still called a forklift, but it's more of like an indoor forklift. I don't really know how to drive the outdoor 4-wheeled forklift. I don't know how to drive those. All right. So maybe I'm not all that certified, but I mean, I could do one of them, you know what I mean? You know, I wish somebody would brag about me being forklift certified, you know? Being a steel worker though is it's kind of cool though. I mean, straight. Because I know my best friend Alex, he was doing welding and steel work for a little bit. I think he was just doing it for school, though. I don't think he was like doing it. But I would see like some of the stuff that he would make and like the projects they would do and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, that is so sick. And then I remember I got to like try it. Welding is fucking hard, man. It is hard as hell. You would think it's pretty easy, but nah, dude. Nah. It is weird though, like when you watch it without the mask and then you watch it with the mask. Like with the mask, you could fucking see everything. It's kind of cool. Like you could literally see the liquid or the metal like turn into liquid and then like burn onto the thing. It's kind of cool as hell. Won't lie to you. You know? All right. Ladies, what's the hottest physical job a man can have? Installing attic insulation. Oh. I guess. Okay, she might be a little different. I didn't think that would be a job women knew about. You know what I mean? You know, if I'm being honest with you, and maybe I'm not giving you women enough credit. My bad. My blender. Wow. Okay. Hey. All right. Ladies, what's the hottest physical job a man can have? Low-key, a welder. Yeah. Yeah. Why? Because they make a fuck ton of money, but they don't really risk their lives, you know? I mean, not really. Because they wear, like, big-ass leather gloves. Yeah. So, okay. Ladies, what is the hottest physical job a man can have? A lumberjack. You know, nice big lumberjack man. And, hey, do your thing. I know I couldn't be a fucking lumberjack. Golly, couldn't do it. I would try, but couldn't do it. I know my ex used to watch all those lumberjack like style videos on TikTok. You ladies know what I'm talking about. I know you've seen them. You probably follow the guy I'm talking about. You know, all he does is he has a million fucking videos of him just chopping wood. And I'm like, why? For what? And they're just like, it's just hot. And I'm like, all right, whatever, man. And you know what's really hot? Changing a light bulb. How about that? Yeah, that's what I thought. You know. Let's see. Ladies, what's the hottest physical job a man can have? A construction worker. Okay. All right. Finally showing. I was wondering if I was going to see construction worker on there because I'm just like, Not a lot of girls, I guess, really like dudes that are in construction, I guess. Because, I mean, dudes in construction make pretty good money. You know? They make really good money. So I get it. You know, they come home dirty as shit. But, I mean, it's a good job to have. You know? I know I couldn't do it. Whew. Oh, my God. I remember one summer I did construction. That shit sucked. I was like, never again. All right, ladies, what is the oddest physical job a man can have? Let's see. Oh, man. Okay. The military. Anything to do with the military? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you women love you some military men's. You love you some military men's. I'll never understand it. They love the most unhinged men on the planet. I won't lie to you. Hey, look. and this is the guys that, you know, has a lot of like military friends. And those dudes are fucking unhinged. I won't lie to you. And they're my friends. I love those guys. But they're fucking unhinged. You know, they be having it tough. But I get it, man. You know, they get that VA loan with that house, and they got some bomb-ass benefits. I get it. 100%. You know, 100%. I get it. They're tough and rugged dudes. Ladies, what's the oddest physical job a man can have? When I see my husband working with his hands and they get all dirty, ooh-wee, it makes the panties wet. Yeah, some girls like that. I don't know why, but they do. They do. Because even my ex was like that whenever I would work on the cars and my hands would be all black and shit. She thought that was sexy. Didn't know why. She liked it when I would like touch her and, you know, the dirt would like press on her and shit like that. She, for some reason, like thought that was sexy. I didn't know why. I was just like, I ain't questioning it. You know, I ain't questioning it. All the blood is down there. You know what I mean? There ain't no blood up here. You know what I mean? So, yeah, some girls love that shit. Let's see. All right, ladies, what is the hottest physical job a man can have? Any job that's physically demanding, or if he works with animals. I'm a sucker for veterinarians. I mean, I didn't think a male veterinarian would be attracted to a girl, but I guess because it deals with animals. Yeah, I can see that. I can see it. But I don't know if she really means like anything physical. There's a lot of dudes that like work certain physical jobs and they're just, you know, girls don't really care. They don't really pay attention to it. But maybe, I don't know. Because like I said, you know what I mean? In the warehouse job that, you know, I used to work at, it was like a lot of dudes. I mean, I guess because it was for a grocery store, maybe they didn't really think that it's manly. I don't know. But I would like tell a lot of girls that, whether I would, you know, go on dates with them, whatever the case may be. And they were just like, oh, okay. And I'm just like, oh, man, no, that's the bad O. They no, it's physical labor, okay? Like, you saw what I did. Like, come on now. I mean, it's physical to some degree, but, you know, because obviously, like I said, it was physical at first, but again, you do use the pallet jack and you do use forklift and all that kind of stuff. But still, you pick shit up to put it on the, you know, on the thing. I don't know. It was good money. I ain't gonna lie. All right. Let's see here. Ladies, what is the oddest physical job a man can have? When I met my husband, he had just became a ship captain. So my opinion is ship captain and not a 6-pack license. I mean, get some tonnage behind that boat. Okay. A ship captain. Wow. You know what's one, I mean, I guess it's not physical. I think that's what they're trying to, but I mean, I wonder what's physical about being a ship captain. Maybe they have to do something physical, but that's surprising because I've never known anybody to be like a ship captain. That'd be kind of cool to like know somebody like that, you know? Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm surprised I haven't seen pilot on there. That was what I was gonna say, but then I thought to myself, well, being a pilot is not really physically demanding, so I could see that, but a lot of women love them some pilots. They do. You know what I mean? They do. They do. Ladies, what is the hottest physical job a man can have? Mechanic, finally. Oh, I was like, is the mechanics not gonna get some love, man? Working on cars, is that not good enough for you women's anymore? Man, I was about to say, I'm like, damn. I know my ex liked it. The fact that I could work on our car and stuff like that. Like I said, that's why she liked my black. My hands would get black and stuff. But I'm just like, come on, man. I don't know. I guess a lot of women, nowadays kind of look at it and they're like, it's not a job like I see my man having, I guess. I don't know. Damn it. I hate when it does this. Let's see. Okay. No. I hate when it goes back to the top. Give me a minute. Uno momento. Okay, here we go. Ladies, what is the hottest physical job a man can have? Any kind of handiwork. I just get all riled up seeing my man do manly things. There's nothing hotter than a man who is good with his hands. Yes, exactly. I'm going to go change that light bulb, and you're going to be like, ooh, like, come on now. What are we talking about here? Fixing the sink. Like, come on, man. Like, when did plumbers and carpenters and HVAC guys and all that stuff, when did that not be sexy anymore to girls? When did that stop being jobs that a lot of girls were like, ooh, that's what I'm talking about? Because, on the Patreon episode, we talked about like, what is something that was sexy or that is sexy now that wasn't 20 years ago. And, it was a good blast from the past. And it was one of those things where, like, back in the day, girls found it sexy for you to be a plumber. Girls found it sexy for you to be a carpenter. And that's why they, like, put it in TV shows and stuff like that all the time. Where, like, the handyman would come and homeboy is wearing a plaid shirt and he's all, like, built and shit and he's all sexy. And she's like, oh, my God, I need you to fix this. And he's like, I can fix that. Yeah, I can fix that. And then he'd be fixing the thing, and she's just like, oh, pouring the lemonade on her or whatever. I mean, I watched a lot of TV as kids, but I'm just saying, like, I thought, that was like, oh shit. So when I got older, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna learn something like that. And obviously my dad, he's been a mechanic for like 30 years or whatever, and so I was like, yeah, I want to learn how to be a mechanic, and I thought it would be hot to girls, and no, it wasn't. And I'm like, what the fuck, what happened? When did this not become sexy no more? I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know, because it's what's going on here. All right, ladies, what is the hottest physical job a man can have? A roofer in the desert in summer. Okay, I'm sure she's thinking like hottest as like temperature-wise, not like... You know what I mean? Because that sounds like a sucky ass. I mean, maybe she does like that. Maybe she's just like, yeah, I like to see my man all hot and sweaty. I don't know. Some girls are like that. They like to see their man hot and sweaty. So maybe she's one of them. Maybe she's one of them where she's just like, yeah, the hot and sweatier you are, that's my shit. That's my shit. Makes the coochie sweat. All right. All right, let's see. Oh, look at that. Oh, pilots were in there. There was one. They said specifically military pilots. But, because I was throwing that in there. I was like, oh, what about pilots? Like, I'm surprised I haven't seen that one in there. But yeah, no, it's in there. All right. Let's see. All right. Ladies, what is the hottest physical job a man can have? A man that drives a large machine or even a forklift gets me going any day of the week. Yeah, facts. Facts. Because you have no idea how hard it is to like maneuver those things around. When you know what you're doing, you kind of look really cool. And it's funny because like even when I worked at the warehouse, there would be a lot of times where like I would hop on a forklift to kind of move it or whatever, and the girls would be like, "Oh my god, oh wow, oh my god, I'm so impressed," and I'm just like, I just moved it from there to there, like what? But I guess girls just like that. They see you moving a big machine, and they're just like, "That's the guy. That's the guy right there." Goddamn. So hey, it is what it is. All right, but I'm going in that thread there. A lot of it is the same. A lot of it's firefighters and, doctors and paramedics and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of the same. I try to go in and find the unique ones, but most of them are the same. It is what it is. You know what I mean? We all know what tickles the women's fancies. You know what I mean? Well, we think we do. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments, ladies, though, what is a job that, a man could have and you're like, hot damn, that gets the juices flowing. You know what I mean? All right, we're going to go ahead and get into announcements, and then we'll hop right into our scenarios for today. So, patreon.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday episodes, like these people did today. All right, $3 a month gets you that exclusive episode and the ability to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Thursday episodes. Audio listeners, keep downloading the podcast. Thank you so much for all the support you guys be showing every single day. I love when I get to open my analytics and I get to see you guys getting in there, coming back every week, man. Every week you guys you show out, you download the episodes. I appreciate that so much because it lets me know that what we are doing, you're enjoying. All right. I appreciate that so much. Okay. And rate us 5 stars if you can, if you please will. It is free and it helps me out a lot. All right. So, and to help out even more on the free 99 side of things, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing to us on the YouTube, man. We're moving and grooving. I'm hoping to hit 2K by the end of this year. That it hopefully would be a goal I'd love to be able to hit. But yeah, just keep supporting the show, keep sharing it, all that good stuff, man. Catch me live on Mondays, sometimes Sundays, sometimes Fridays. I really haven't got my stream schedule down yet, but every Monday you can catch me stream. All right, Monday is a for sure stream day that you can always catch me. But Fridays and Sundays, sometimes I stream those days, sometimes I don't. It all kind of depends on how I'm feeling. But I mean, you can always watch the streams, you know what I mean? I keep a whole playlist of the VODs, so you can always go there. It's a whole playlist. You can check out any of the streams that you want, see what they're like, you know what I mean? See if you want to jump in there and hang out with your boy, all right? So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into our scenarios for today. Today we got some pretty juicy ones that I'm sure you guys are going to love. All right. So we have our first one. Found out my girlfriend was cheating in a horrific way. Okay. So give me one moment and get some water. All right. I'm doing all this talking during these filming sessions. My voice be just going out. So when I met my ex, she was 36 years old and I was 43 years old. She didn't have any kids, but very much so wanted to be a mom. She always had high standards, morals, and good values. I did tell my ex my greatest fear being having a child at that stage of my life and then breaking up. I didn't want to be single father of a young child in my mid-40s. She promised me we would always work things out and raise our child together. We had a successful first attempt IVF procedure, and 9 months later, our daughter was born. Shortly after daughter's first birthday, my ex wanted to throw in the towel. I was devastated. Yo, after I just confessed to you that I don't want to have a kid with somebody who is just going to leave, and then within a year, you dip on me. That's crazy. I was devastated. Then I found out pretty horrifically by being sent some pictures and a short video of my ex and this guy having sex in our car. Yo. Oh, that is horrific. Oh, I don't know what I would do if I ever saw a video of the love of my life getting clapped by another man. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably see red. Oh my God. Dude, just the thought of it, just like, oh my God, bro. Oh, you talk about heartbreak. To make matters worse, the guy was 5-time convicted felon and a known street-level drug dealer. That's insane. Insane. He also had a history of domestic violence. He has 5 kids with 4 different women, which is something my ex was always critical of. Myself and her parents were devastated and shocked that she would ever get involved with a guy of that character. My ex has shown a pattern of questionable judgment and concerning behaviors when around this guy. He is currently serving a 5-year federal prison sentence on a loaded gun within furtherance of a crime conviction. If my ex tries to move him in under the same roof as my daughter, I plan a petition to court for this guy to have no interaction at all with my daughter. And that my ex has shown a pattern of poor judgment and concerned behaviors which compromises my daughter's well-being. Woo! That's insane. So you're telling me that she was in a relationship with you, talking about, I got all these standards, I got all these high standards, and I got all this and all that. And then you're like, all right, look, and she's like, oh, I want to have a kid, I want to be a mom. And then she's like, okay. And you're like, okay, let's do this. But before we do this, I don't want to be like a single dad in my mid 40s. I want to know that if we're going to do this, you and me are going to work shit out. We're going to do it right. We got this going on. She's like, oh, hell yeah, for sure. And then out of nowhere, she sleeps with some felon dude. See, now what this tells me is that she used you to get a kid, and that's all she really wanted from you. And she just wanted you to pay for the IVF. Maybe she didn't want to pay for it, so she looked at it like, well, I'm going to find some sucker to pay for it for me, and then I'm going to have my kid, and then I'm going to dip and go be with, a dude that I actually want to be with. That's what it seems like to me. To me, it seems like she never really wanted to be with you in the first place. She just was like, I'm going to use this guy to get what I want, and then once I get what I want, then I'm going to leave. That's what it seemed like she did. I could be wrong, but with the information given, that's what it seems like, bro. Seems like she used you for a baby and was just like, peace and chicken grease, motherfucker. That's insane. That is absolutely insane, because to go from like you, a well put together guy, to a dude who's got 4 baby mamas and a federal prison charge is insane. Like, that is a night and day insanity. Why in the fuck would she do some shit like that? It only tells me that she was just using you, man. It only tells me that she was just using you. And I think that's what it was. She wanted a kid out of you. That's all she wanted. She didn't want to be with you. She was just like, but I need somebody to pay for IVF, because you got to understand, IVF is very expensive. It's a very expensive thing to go through. So I guarantee you she probably looked at it like, I don't got the money for this, but I know he does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him pay for it. And then once I get my baby, I'm going to dip. But yeah, fight for that kid. Fight for that fucking kid, man. If I'm being straight with you, fight for that kid. Be like, no, I do not want my daughter living with her. And honestly, if you can like prove all of the charges and all of this, crap that homeboys got going on, 1000% they will probably give you custody of your daughter, because there's no way in hell they would want that little girl in the midst of that. You know what I mean? Especially if he has domestic abuse in the past and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, he's going to be hitting on her and your daughter. And you could be like, bitch, that's on you. You made your bed. You go lay in it. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real here. You made your bed. You can go lay in that. That's insane. Let me know what you think about that one in the comments, though. But yeah, I think she used you for IVF, pretty much. All right. On to our next one. The mother of my child cheated while pregnant is insane. Who out here banging a married girl while she's pregnant? That's crazy. All right. Mother of my child was unfaithful to me while she was 1 month pregnant. Okay, she probably didn't look pregnant. Okay. 1 month pregnant, engaging in an affair with a colleague from her workplace. This relationship continued until the birth of our child, and I found out about it through messages on an old phone of hers that I had repaired. The messages revealed that the man was primarily interested in a physical relationship, as he mentioned having multiple partners and ultimately ceased communication with her. This revelation has left me grappling with a whirlwind of negative emotions. I had always envisioned a future where my child would grow up with both parents together rather than navigating a co-parenting situation. However, the depth of my resentment towards her makes it nearly impossible to pursue that ideal. I would appreciate any advice on how to cope with this situation. Damn, son. I mean, look. This sucks to say, but at least your child won't know what a household was like with two parents. So the whole like you living there, like mom living here and dad living there, that's going to be normal to them. So at least there won't really be any like trauma or anything like that on their side, just because it's going to be normal. It's going to seem like it's a normal thing. Sure, other kids are going to be like, what do you mean mom's house and dad's house? Like, your parents don't live together? Like, sure, they're going to have questions down the road. So definitely be prepared for that. But again, if she's doing all this, hey, let that bitch be single, bro. You don't got to deal with it. I would be like, nah, man. You go out and you go do your thing. You know what I mean? You wanted to do all this? That's cool. I'm going to go let you do all that. I'm good on that. And you're just going to have to do this co-parenting thing, man. Sure, it was ideal to be like, oh, I would love for her to have, or love for my kid to have a 2-parent household and all that stuff. It's ideal. But obviously she broke that, And so, again, it's a thing where she kind of made this bed, let her lay in it. Thank goodness, your kid won't really have an idea of, the whole 2 parents in 1 household thing. It's just going to be normal to them. So at least you won't have trauma there, but there are going to be questions later on. And again, I think you should just do your best, take care of your kid, and when they have the questions, just be ready for those questions of, oh, why aren't you and mommy and daddy living together? Gerald said that his parents live together, so I don't mind. You know what I mean? It's just going to be one of those things that you're going to have to navigate that kind of questioning. And so with that, just be prepared for that and just do your best, man. Do your best. And honestly, try your best to co-parent with her or don't. Obviously that's going to be up to you. I personally wouldn't really want to have a relationship with a woman like that, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, I would just be like, look, I'm here to see my kid, and that's it. Like, I'm not here to do anything more, anything less for you, because that's insane, bro. That is absolutely insane. You guys let me know what you think about that one in the comments, though. All right, on to our next one. Am I the asshole for breaking up with my boyfriend after he said my pain during sex was hot to him? Okay. Bit of a crazy type dude. Okay. All right. He said it feels so good and kept going. But I don't want this on. Oh, okay. Okay. I usually just like vanilla sex, but my boyfriend started wanting more. He started wanting to be rough with me, and recently he's been doing things like pulling my hair, slapping my butt, and he would keep putting his hands on my neck so I couldn't breathe, and I would be passing out. Oh shit. We were having sex and he turned me around to be face down, and he was pulling my hair and started slapping me while doing fast into me or going fast into me. It was hurting, and I told him this hurts. Hey, can we not do this like now? And he didn't say anything for a minute, and he kept going. And started going faster and told me to tell him it hurts. And I told him it hurts, and he said it feels good. I grabbed his hand off my hair, and I tried turning around, and I tried telling him it's hurting, but he just pushed my body down into the mattress, and he kept slamming me into me for a long time. And then he said he was going to finish, and he started choking me. He put me in a headlock, and I couldn't breathe, and I tried pulling his arms, and I remember I was starting to pass out, and then he finished in me and let me go. I was a little confused after, and I rolled my back. He told me that was so hot, and I told him it was painful, and I didn't want to do it like that again. He told me that I said yes to having sex with him when he initiated, and I was moaning more than usual, and that I didn't really move or try to make him stop or push him off or anything. So he thought I liked it, and that it was some of the best sex we've ever had. I went to the shower and I started crying, and it was hurting after still. I came out upset at him, and he just walked away from me, and I was feeling insane, and I was upset. He told me I was just inexperienced in sex and life, and that I needed to get used to different sex play and breathe play with him, and he'd teach me. I don't know about that, but okay. I told him I wasn't interested in that anymore, and I ended up telling him I think we need to take a break, and he told me I shouldn't throw away our relationship because he wanted to try something new. He's texting me saying we've built so much together and we don't have to end it over a little pain just because he misunderstood me and continued when I was groaning and he thought I was liking it. I still have some stuff that I have left at his place, but I haven't gone over since. Am I the asshole? Okay. I do not think you're the asshole, and I think that you should, now you guys are on a break. Honestly, I think you should break up with him, regardless of what you built and all that kind of stuff. The only reason being is because this is going to go from like abrasive sex to whenever he gets mad at you, he's going to hit you. Like, this is going to get into domestic violence quick. And I mean quick. Because once he gets used to, kind of hitting on you, during sex, what do you think is going to be stopping him from hitting on you when he gets mad? Say he's upset. You know what I mean? Say he's just having a bad day and, I don't know, do something or you nag him or whatever the case may be. Again, this is the gateway to domestic violence. If I'm being honest with you, this is the gateway to that. And what you need to do is leave while you can now, while it's light and just, it's easy to walk away from. Now, I understand where you may be feeling like, we built a lot together and, I love him and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But you got to look at the future. You got to look at what's ahead. You know what I mean? You got to look at what's ahead. And what's coming for you is a good walloping, girl. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to happen. So, personally, to protect you, you should just be like, look, I don't want to do this relationship anymore. I'm good. Because I don't know if this is going to turn into something more violent than it is. And I don't want to know if it is or not. Like, I don't know. I'm good. Because again, if he gets comfortable with doing this to you in the bed, then he's going to get comfortable doing this to you outside of the bed. All right. So again, run while you can, run while it's easy. You know what I mean? Break it up and nah, I'm good, man. I'm good on this relationship. Stand 10 toes down, girl, and do not give in to him. Because again, he's going to be, oh, but, you know, we went through this and we went through that and da-da-da and blah, blah, blah. You know, he's going to try to talk you into it 100%. But again, that it's not going to change the fact that it's going to get to that point where he's going to get comfortable with doing this to you in the bed. And then once he's comfortable doing this with you in the bed, he's going to get comfortable real quick doing this to you outside of the bed, you know. And then it's going to get to a point where, you know, you feel like you can't leave. And then you feel like, oh my God, I don't know what he's going to do if I try to break up with him, this and that. Leave right now. Leave right now while it's easy. I'm just going to tell you that. All right. Oh. All right. Okay. Let's get on to our next one. Goodness gracious. I am like losing my voice. Oh. Woo. All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to date anyone who's ever had an OnlyFans? I mean, just from the title alone, nah. I don't think you're an asshole at all, man. The reason being is because personally, I just don't think that girls who do OnlyFans, I really don't think they deserve love. I'm sorry. They don't. I don't think those girls deserve love, because if you are willing and you're okay with the world seeing the most intimate parts of you and you don't care, I mean, that's like selling your soul to the devil. You know what I mean? That is like selling your soul to the devil. Why? Because you're doing this for a quick buck. You know, that's what you want. You're doing this for a quick buck. That automatically tells me that you're willing to do anything just for a quick buck. You know, you're willing to do whatever. And for me, being in a relationship with a girl like that just tells me, like, you're not a good person. You're just not. If you're willing to sell your soul to the devil like that, dude, that's just insane to me. If you're willing to show your most intimate parts to just the whole world and just random motherfuckers, like, bro, no. I do not think they deserve love. I'm going to just be straight 100% honest with you. I do not think those women deserve love. All right, I, 28 male, don't want to date people who've sold content on OnlyFans. It's not about insecurity or control. It just makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to be with someone who puts themselves out there like that sexually, publicly for money. Recently matched with a woman, 26 female, great vibe, funny, smart, great convo. During dinner, she mentioned she used to do OnlyFans during COVID to pay rent. Said it was just pictures, nothing wild, and that she made bank. Cool. I nodded. I finished the date and didn't text back. She followed up a few days later asking why I ghosted. I told her honestly, it is a deal breaker for me. She lost it. Called me insecure, misogynistic, controlling, bitter, etc. Mutual friends say I'm shallow and should grow up because it's not like she's doing it now. I get that we're all trying to survive out here, but I also think I'm allowed to set boundaries still. I'm wondering, am I the asshole for not wanting to date someone with that past, even if it's not who they are anymore? Well, you gotta understand. We are in the age of the internet, and the internet does not forget. All right. So just because you did it before don't mean that motherfuckers still know you of doing it now. All right. That's for one. For two, a man who has boundaries for how he wants his woman to be is not insecure. It's not being misogynistic, and it's not being childish. If I want to have boundaries, if I want to have standards for my woman, I'm going to have fucking standards for my woman. And if you don't fit those standards, you can kick rocks. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be mean about it. Just like Homeboy was. Homeboy looked at it like, I'm going to finish the date and I'm going to keep it pushing. I'm not going to be mean to her. I'm not going to get in her face, none of that. And she asked why. Hey, look, it just, for me, I have standards on these things. And that is a boundary that you have crossed, and I'm not cool with it. You can go find a guy who is cool with that. Again, just because she wants to sit there and call you insecure and all this and all that, and friends want to be like, oh, grow up. Nah, man. Fuck that bullshit. Fuck that. I'm not about to be sitting here dating a girl who wants to sell her soul to the devil just for a couple bucks. No, thank you. Women you can go get a job. You know what I mean? You can go get a job like the rest of us. You can go work like the rest of us. You can go do something productive. You know what I mean? Like, nah. It's crazy to me how girls come out of high school, 18 years old, doing OnlyFans. That shit is insane to me. Insane. It's like you didn't even give the real world a try. You didn't even give it a chance. You didn't even try to go to school, get a career, get a degree. Like, bruh, what the fuck, man? Yeah, look, man, I give so much kudos and praise to women who go out there and don't do sex work. They don't strip. They don't do porn. They don't do OnlyFans. They don't do all this bullshit, escorting and all that kind of stuff. They don't do that. They go out there. They get a job. Like, I much rather date a broke girl who's got a normal job than a bitch who's making $100,000 a month on OnlyFans. Because I know that this girl is not willing to sell her soul to the devil just for a quick buck. Fuck that shit. No, thank you. And then it's crazy to me how a lot of these OnlyFans girls sit there and talk about, oh, I found God. Oh, I'm super religious now. My relationship with God is just chipper. No, bitch. You sold your soul to the devil. You're already going to hell. There's no amount of relationship that you can have with God that's going to fix that. That nigga was like, nah. Jesus was like, nah, bro. Nah. You already sold. You know what I mean? You paid for where you want to go. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. You sold your soul to the devil for a quick buck. Get the fuck out of here with that crap. So no, again, do not think you're the asshole. Your friends are fucking stupid. And don't let anybody sit there and call you insecure for having standards on the girl you want to date. Fuck that shit. That is ridiculous. All right, this is going to be our last one for today's episode. All right, we got this far in the episode. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Definitely let me know what you think about all the scenarios we've gone over so far, as well as the thread. But let's get on into it. All right, am I the asshole for making my boyfriend walk home? Damn. All right, I'm going to try to get through this. I am, for some reason, losing my voice, so I'm going to try to get through this. All right, I, 24 female, have been dating my boyfriend, Jake, 26 male, for a little over a year. Things are mostly good between us, but sometimes his sense of humor crosses a line. He loves to joke around and be the center of attention, and while that can be fun, it doesn't always land, especially in more professional settings. This past weekend, I invited him to dinner with my coworkers. It was a small celebration because I recently got promoted, and a few managers and team leaders I respect a lot were there. I especially asked Jake ahead of time to keep things polite and not make any off-color jokes. He laughed and said, "What do you think I'm going to do? Roast your boss?" I said, "No, but just please read the room and keep things light." At first, things were fine. He made small talk and a couple of awkward jokes, but nothing terrible. Then the waiter came to take the dessert orders. I was planning to order something when Jake interrupted and said, "Oh, she doesn't need dessert. She's already sweet enough. And she's trying to fit into that dress next week, remember?" Okay, the joke was good in the beginning. Like, "Oh, no, she doesn't need dessert. She's sweet enough." You should have just stopped there. That would have been a W joke. Or, not even joke, but just a quip. You know what I mean? That would have been a W quip. But, yeah, you fucked it up after that one. Okay. Damn. He winked at me like he had just said something clever. I was mortified. The table went silent. I felt completely exposed. I never said I was trying to fit into any dress. I don't even know what he was referring to. And making a comment about my body or weight, joking or not, in front of my coworkers felt incredibly inappropriate. I laughed it off in the moment, but inside I was furious. When we got to the car, I told him what he said was humiliating and crossed the line. He immediately got defensive. Right? Yes. Got defensive and said I was overreacting, that it was a joke and everyone knew that. He said I was being too sensitive and accused me of trying to make him feel bad for lightening the mood. I told him I didn't want to talk to him and that he could find his own way home. He thought I was bluffing until I pulled over and told him to get out. It was about a 25-minute walk, not super far, and he had his phone and wallet. It wasn't late or unsafe. He eventually got out, but now he's telling people I left him on the side of the road over a joke, because you did. All right. Like, let's be honest, you did. You did. Like, seriously. Sure, be mad, be upset, feel the way you want to feel about the joke. But the fact of the matter is, yes, you left him on the side of the road over a joke. You could have been mad, drove home, and continue to be mad, or whatever. But you left my man on the side of the road. Like, let's just be honest here. That there's no change in the fact that you didn't. Some of our mutual friends thinks I was harsh and should have just talked to him later. Others say he needed to be called out. Jake still refuses to admit that he was out of line. So now I'm wondering if I overreacted in the heat of the moment and should have handled it more calmly. It wasn't life-threatening, but maybe it was petty. Then again, I felt completely disrespected. Am I the asshole? Look, yes, I do think you're the asshole because you left my man on the side of the road. Look, again, feel the way you want to feel about what he said. Personally, I think what he said was stupid. All right, I won't lie to you. If he would have just said, "Oh, she doesn't need dessert, she's sweet enough," bam, she probably would have, rosy cheeked up a little bit. "Oh, babe, you're stop." You know what I mean? Like, but the fact that you added the whole fitting a dress in there, that's where it went wrong. All right. And you need to explain that to him. Like, hey, the fact that you added that second part onto the joke is what I'm mad about. But we're getting too far into it. Sure. When he said that, it was stupid. You're mad. You're upset. 100%. You have the right to feel that way. But again, you didn't have to drop the nigga off on the side of the road over a joke, because you did. The matter of the fact is that you dropped him off on the side of the road over a joke when you could have just drove home and then you could have got out of the car. Of course, you could have still been mad, whatever the case may be, and then you guys could have talked later that day. But I know I wouldn't want to talk to you if you left me on the side of the road. I'd have been like, "Bitch, fuck you." Like, "Oh, yeah, you want to talk now? Nah, man, get the fuck out of my face." Because again, it is fucked up. It's fucked up what you did. Like, that's not cool. You know what I mean? And then if you want to try and go and talk to him all of a sudden and stuff like that, he's not going to really want to be in a talking mood because of what you did. Like, yes, it was petty. And yes, he was wrong, for what he said, because you warned him. You warned him, "Hey, man, look, keep it light, keep it cool." To his defense, he probably thought he was keeping it cool, but he fucked up. He slipped up a little bit. So you can't be too mad at the guy. But again, you didn't have to leave him on the side of the road over it. That's where I think you went wrong. You know what I mean? But, because you could have handled it differently. You really could have. You could have simply just, again, you could have been mad, drove home, got out of the car, huffed and puffed it out in the house, whatever the case may be, then came to talk to him, and you guys could have worked something out, you know. But the fact that you did leave him on the side of the road, that just kind of makes him upset and makes him not really want to talk to you. Like when you're ready to talk, say you huffed it, puffed it out, and then you're ready to talk to him, what makes you think he's going to want to talk to you? You know, he's going to be pissed, if anything. He's like, what the fuck? You left me on the side of the road and now you want to talk all of a sudden? No, dude, fuck you. You know what I mean? So, again, it's like that was a little too much. That was a little too much. And yes, I do think you're the asshole for that. I really do. But you guys let me know what you think about that in the comments, as well as all the other scenarios we've gone over today. I am losing my voice, so I'm going to go ahead and end this episode now. Love you guys all. I'll see you on Thursday for our book. And that's going to be it for me. Peace.